what's next for Prince Harry? Because yesterday, Newsgroup newspapers, who of course published The Sun and the News of the World as was, now defunct of course, they settled Harry's legal claim against them for a reported 8-figure sum. We don't exactly know how many millions, but it was rather a lot. In their statement, they offered a full and unequivocal apology to the Duke of Sussex for the serious intrusion by The Sun between 1996 and 2011 into his private life, including incidents of unlawful activities carried out by private investigators working for The Sun. Well, speaking outside the court, Harry's barrister described it as a monumental victory. Well, royal expert Sarah Hewson is right here. This is so interesting, isn't it? How do you think Harry will be feeling about all of this right now?
I think he'll have mixed feelings this morning because this was a stunning victory, a monumental victory, as his lawyer described it, to get Newsgroup newspapers to admit for the very first time that there was unlawful activity taking place at its flagship newspaper, The Sun, that it wasn't just the News of the World, which they closed down and effectively drained the swamp, that this had been happening at The Sun and over a period of many years. And even more significantly, to get that apology for his mother, Princess Diana, because we know this was really personal for Prince Harry. This is something that has affected his entire life and that of his late mother. And he has been on a mission to get justice for her too. So that will have gone a long way in him deciding to take this settlement. But what he hasn't got is that admission of a cover-up by senior executives at Newsgroup newspapers. That's what he really wanted when he talked about accountability, not just saying, look, it was a few investigators that we'd hired in good faith. He really wanted evidence in court that those at the top knew that this was going on and covered up, and he hasn't got that. And so I don't think this is over. There is talk now of this dossier being handed over to the Metropolitan Police, calls for the government to reopen Leveson Part 2, for example. And so I think it's a victory on the battlefield, but the war isn't over.
The war goes on. It's fascinating, though, isn't it? Because a lot of people would say, why did he settle? But you've got this utterly bizarre situation where if you're offered a sum and you say, no, I don't want it, I want my day in court, and then you end up getting awarded more than the sum you initially got offered, you end up having to pay all the costs. Which is nuts.
With a civil suit, as this was, that there was a risk factor there for Prince Harry, that he could have ended up having some monumental legal bills. This has been going on for over 5 years.
And lawyers will be very, very rich, Sarah.
Yes, as we always say, the lawyers are the winners in these cases. So there was a big risk factor there. He always said it wasn't about the money, that he was the one person left standing, he and Lord Watson, Tom Watson, former deputy Labour leader, who could fight this to the bitter end. And he wanted to have his day in court, which is why that settlement came as a big surprise to everyone, I think. But he did get those concessions in terms of that apology and his mother.
Do you think, because we know that Prince William got a settlement, we understand it was about £1 million, it's widely speculated that he gave all that money to charity. So he got his money. Prince Harry has now got a lot of money, but also that apology for Diana. Do you think this in any way is going to bring those two closer together? No, you don't. You don't think that's...
Sadly, I don't, Lorraine. And actually, we only know about Prince William's settlement because it was raised in legal documents because of Prince Harry's case. And Prince William settled in 2020 with Newsgroup newspapers. Harry has used that as an example of the kind of secret agreements going on between the royal household and the press. And that is all part of his desire, this mission he has to reshape the media landscape. Look, we haven't got 10 weeks of evidence in court, which could have been very difficult on both sides. But there are still further cases to come. There is still the case against Associated Newspapers as well, which is due to go to court in January unless an agreement is reached on that. And also there's the big case about security for Prince Harry against the Home Office. He is going to the Court of Appeal later on this year. And that one's a difficult one for his father because he is taking action against His Majesty's government.
Oh, gee. So it's certainly not going away, that's for sure.
It's not going
You don't
away.
think there's going to be any thawing at all. It's interesting. His uncle, Harry's uncle, Earl Spencer, says that it was a very brave thing for Harry to do, and actually that his mum would have been very, very proud of him for doing it.
And actually, Harry gave an interview in the ITV programme Tabloids on Trial, where he talked about the fact he thought that the Queen would be looking down on him now and willing him on to finish the job. So he very much believes he has the backing of his late grandmother, not that of his father and his brother. He said his father had described it as a suicide mission to go up against the tabloid press and had told him just not to read it. And, of course, his brother settled privately, and Harry's used that as a contrast to, look, I'm doing this to try and show them all up to the world for what they really are.
Sure. It goes on and on, doesn't it? It's not going to
really
end.
Does.
And I just thought maybe there would be a wee chink of light that they might all start talking to one another again, but nah,
I don't think until that case with the Home Office is settled. I think that's the real fundamental one. That's the real stumbling block in terms of face-to-face meetings, conversations with his father.
So it's still an open wound.
It is indeed.
Sarah, thank you for your insight. Thank you very much.
Lorraine.
Great to see you. Well, that's a wrap for this video. We hope you enjoyed it. We have all the best moments from the show right here on the channel. And if you like this video, then we think you'll love this one. See you next time.